How's it going, everyone? I'm Al, and here is some more StarCraft 2 for you. This one from the tournament, Homestory Cup XXII. The first player here doing an extractor cancel already. It's one of my favorite Zerg players. It's Scarlett. The opponent is a Protoss player. You might not have heard of this player, but I was pretty interested in what he did during this tournament. From America, we have PattyMac, which is a pretty fun name to say. So he has this type of build, and they spoke about it a lot during this tournament, that he tends to do over and over again. And I can't remember specifically the details, it's been a while, but it tends to be, probe block, and then going into, I think it was Twilight immediately, and then Colossus. But anyway, it was the same build, so we'll see if we can see if it happened in this game. Now, before I get too much into it, I do need to explain the way that the groups work in Homestory Cup. So this is from the group stages of Homestory Cup, and they follow a bit of a strange format, or at least they did for this tournament. They followed a best of 2 per series. So you could have draws, because in the groups there were 8 players per group, and you would have best of 2s being played, and the winner would come from map victories before series victories. So it's a bit of a strange one. Some of the pros were talking about it, because obviously Homestory Cup, the pros get to do a lot of the casting as well, especially as they start being eliminated from the tournament. And some of them were saying, I know Lambo was saying that he actually really dislikes the format, and he would much rather prefer best of 3s or whatever. But yeah, so it is the format. It's the format that they use. So I don't know the results of this game, but there is a possibility that this series could go 1-1, and that would be the series. That would be the games that I have. So there wouldn't be a definitive winner. Let me stop following that probe. So yeah, let's see what happens, and we'll go from there. So we have the gateway researching, as well as a stalker coming up first. There is second. Sorry, there is an adept that's going to move across. Scarlett should have a bunch of zerglings. Yeah, so this is something that he also does. PattyMac tends to go for the adepts, loses them, and then transitions into I think it was Twilight. I'll have to see. Stalker's going to try and get rid of this Overlord. Scouting obviously very important, and the Stalker being able to stop that is very key. So there's the gateway, and followed up with, no, that's just a pylon. So 3 gates into Twilight. Yeah, so it was a Twilight. Scarlett is going not too heavily on the drone, so third base is only finishing now. And I actually think, hang on, there you go. I realized my health bars were turned off. So we see the 2 adepts. They're going to go marching across now. I'm pretty sure that he might be going for I can't remember the adept upgrade, resonating glaives. So we'll have to see if that is the direction that PattyMac's going to be taking. So far Scarlett, though, she's going just economic, quite standard, quite normal, nothing too aggressive. There are a bunch of zerglings moving across, and they're going to try catch these adepts. That's a lot of adepts already, so that's 6. Yeah, there comes the glaives, and then after the glaives is going to be transitioning into a robo, I believe, and that's his build. So there's some variation after this, but up until these adepts with their glaives, that's pretty standard. That's what he always does. Scarlett's going to counter this with some banelings. Banelings obviously very good against things like adepts, also decent against stalkers. Good surround here by the lings, but the adepts are going to get out. So only 1 falling so far. 2 are on low health. The recall is also very important. So they're going to help defend. I think he lost one in, no, there they are. Okay, and Stargate. Oh, so it goes into Stargate. Anyway, The build was called the PattyMac. We'll keep looking at it as this game is progressing. Baneling Nest is finished. There's a couple of Banelings being morphed for safety. And so far, worker count's pretty good. Third base is up for PattyMac. And yeah, these players are both in a decent position. Now Scarlett is moving around with the Lings. That's a lot of Adepts. That's so many Adepts. I would count, but counting is hard. Ooh, jumping straight onto the Lings. And with the Glaives, they can really get rid of Lings. We also see a Dark Shrine on the way. Banelings are here. Ooh, don't finish on the Banes. Ooh. Fourth base on the way up for Scarlett. Yeah, I don't like that engagement. Creep spread for Scarlett so far, not looking too bad. Baneling's going to see if they can get anything done. Decent splits there. Decent splits on one off. Banelings get a very good connection, get rid of a lot of those Adepts. A couple more coming in, and we see 2 Phoenixes. So there's double Stargate already, with 2 Phoenixes coming out at a time. Queens are here to help defend, but this is going to finish. And we're going to see a couple of workers go down. 4 so far, so nothing too crazy. These Adepts are going to be sacrificed. I don't think that was worth it. What was that? There it is. Can't even remember my own hotkeys. Yeah, 16 Adepts going down for 4 workers, 44 Lings. Not sure if I like that. Overseer's going to come in, have a look around. Scarlett should now... Ooh, she sees 4 Phoenixes with the 5th one approaching. So she knows there's Phoenix. Is she going to make a Spire, or she's just going to go for a couple of Spores and an Infestation Pit? Okay, so we're not going to see a Spire. That's fine. Yeah, Scarlett at this stage isn't going too aggressive yet. She is known to be very good in the late game, but also very strong with her timing attacks and pushing and being very aggressive. She had a couple of great cheeses during this tournament, so I'm going to bring them to you as well. First Dark Templar is going to come in. There is the Spore Crawler, so yeah, the DT is spotted immediately. Ling's going to come, going to try help. There is 2 going down so far. At the same time, Phoenix is coming across into the main base. They're going to try to pick off a bunch of workers. Spores relocating. The Queens are in position. I think Scarlett's going to be pretty fine to take this. Yeah. Yeah, ability has to be cancelled. Another Dark Templar in the 4th base. Okay, so worker count at this stage, 9 workers lost. Scarlett hasn't dealt any worker damage herself, but she is up by 20 workers. So she's in a good position economically. 95 workers now. I think that's about where she's going to want to be. Well, 96. So right now, she didn't go for Spires. She's going for Hydras. That's cool. I always enjoy seeing Hydras. I wish the Hydras were a better unit, honestly, and I hope that with the new patch, they're going to be. I missed another Dark Templar. It must have been on this side. But I hope in the new patch they're going to be really good. Well, not really good, not broken good, but good enough that you can make them, because they're a cool unit. But at this stage, they're so expensive and they die to pretty much everything that they are just considered the unit you need to make before you can make lurkers. That's the only reason why you make Hydras, is because you're looking to get lurkers. So we'll see what happens with the new patch. I have still no idea when that is going to be coming live, so hopefully soon. And then yeah, I can't wait to start casting and playing on the new balance patch. A couple of Archons and Stalkers here. Disruptors also being produced by PattyMac, so he's going for a nice big bulky army with the Phoenixes just to help out in the air. Nice little SimCity on this side. This is going to be a hard position to break. Scarlett loves Baneling run-by, so she's not going to get anything done on this side. Zerglings get caught through here in the middle. Upgrades wise, ooh, there are no upgrades. +1 is only finishing now for PattyMac. Scarlett's got the +1 melee and +1, +2 melee and +1 ranged is almost done. Hydra upgrades on the way. This base is going to fall. Yep. Big disruptor. Okay, gets a couple of Hydras, nothing too major. Hydra should be able to chase this away. Phoenix is trying to be a little bit of a pain, but PattyMac loses a lot more Phoenixes than I think he needed to. He's going up into +1 air, so we might see, Fleet Beacon that transition into the late game Skytoss army. Oop, Disruptor gets picked off for free. Oh, good little move there by PattyMac until the Hydras get it anyway. Nice try though. Ooh, big Disruptor hits there. Bunch of Hydras going down. Scarlett does not have too much. She's trying to get the Disruptor, but pulling back. I think she was very late on that pullback. That's a lot of Stalkers for PattyMac. Carriers are going to be on the way now. Scarlett needs to rebuild. Hydras, she's going to need some Infestors. Hydras alone will not be able to deal with this, especially because there's no Roaches to tank. She is still going heavy on the Ling Bane, which is good against the Stalkers. But obviously Stalkers can blink and kite and things, so it's always a bit risky. Decent Disruptor hit there. Baning's trying to connect. They're getting some connections, but decent splitting from PattyMac. Seems to be in a good position. Scarlett doesn't want to fight too much off creep, but decent Disruptor hit there. Don't lose it. Zergling's going to chase it down. And I think Scarlett has defended fine. PattyMac's supply is quite a lot lower. But I think he should be fine. A couple of warp-in rounds. This is a very adventurous Disruptor. Are those slow Zealots? Yeah, charges on the way. We still see slow Zealots. Once again, a push in with the Stalkers. Just getting rid of a Queen and then moving out once again. Scarlett's got a bunch of Lings in the middle of the map ready to do some run-bys or maybe pick off reinforcement. These DTs are only going to be used for Archons. Templar Archives on the way, which means that PattyMac is going to be able to go into Storm. Storm obviously amazing against all of these light units. Lings, Banes, Hydras. Storm wrecks them all. This is a fun one. This is a fun game one. A good start to the series. The best of 2 series, which is a very odd one. It's a very strange thing. Oh, these Banings are being morphed in a wrong position. I think you could have been more aggressive there. They do get out. Scarlett has a couple of Vipers. Vipers obviously very good. Abduction's super strong, but they do need some energy first. One gateway does go down here, but Scarlett's attack is pushed away. Yeah, and at this stage, it's just building to that big air army. Now, Vipers are going to be very good against those carriers, but I do think there's not that many Hydras. How many do we have? 18. Okay, so we do have... there's the rest. Okay, so they must have just hatched. Yeah, you're going to need a bunch of Hydras to get rid of the carriers and their interceptors. These 2 queens taking a bit of a walk, having a good look at the countryside of this map, which is, by the way, inside and out. I haven't mentioned that. Armies are going to clash here. Skytoss, well, carriers being yoinked. Disruptors as well. When the Disruptor gets abducted by the Viper, their ability gets cancelled, and these carriers are going to be in danger. The Lings and Banes are dealing with the Stalker army, and I think PattyMac might be falling a little bit here. Scarlett has so much, she's almost max supply again, getting a bunch of Hydras. The Interceptors are almost dead. A couple of Zealots going to be warped in. This should help the defense for PattyMac, so he seems to be in a good position. Yeah, Scarlett's going to have to retreat, wait for her own reinforcements. At this stage, PattyMac is just trying to buy time, waiting for that Storm to come out. Storm could help save this game for him, but his supply is so low. These Hydras are still going. Scarlett is not finished with the attack, and at this stage, the base gets evacuated. And yeah, Scarlett's going to get the, what is this, the 4th base? Actually, she's not even going for it. There we go. Just wanted to catch the Archon. Good little catch there. Now Scarlett's army at this stage looking very strong. Upgrade advantage decently in favor of Scarlett. And now she's going to wedge herself between these 2 bases. Storm is finished, so pre-splitting is being done. A couple of good storms could change the game, but it doesn't look like they have energy. There's the first storm. Decent storm hitting a bunch of Hydras. Second storm also not bad, but just not enough, and Scarlett takes game number 1. We are on the second map for this series, which is Data C, and I'm gonna avoid saying on Data C, which is quite a bit of a very cheesy pun for the name. If you haven't known, I'm gonna explain this, even though it's been explained a bunch of times. Like, I've heard it in a couple of tournaments. I think initially Fear Dragon spoke about it. Wardy's spoken about it a lot on his channel, but anyway, a lot of the cast have talked about where does the map name come from, and it's a pun because of casters saying we find ourselves on Data C or something like that. So it's supposed to be under the sea, on Data C. Yep, pretty cheesy. Good map, cheesy name. So here we go. And Scarlett, after getting her hatchery blocked, is moving a probe across the map. We're gonna see some cheeky Scarlett stuffs. This probe is not gonna go look for the third base. So she snuck away another drone here to get the hatch up in the natural. This one is going to make, I'm sure, a hatchery. There it is in PattyMac's natural. PattyMac obviously will see this. He's pulling a lot of probes. 6 probes? 7? Yeah, that's more than you need. Normally we see this defended either with 3 or 4 probes and the Zealot. That's 8 probes. That's too much because already this is paid for itself, because that is a lot of lost mining time, as well as the Zealot, which is not that great in the early game. Scarlett immediately cancels, starts an Evo chamber on the little gloop that is left by the hatchery. And the drone is gonna get out. So just a little bit of cheekiness there as a counter to the pro block that PattyMac did. But yeah, that was a lot of lost mining time. So I think Scarlett's gonna be happy with this one. In terms of the minerals lost, yeah, she lost a bit of minerals, but I think PattyMac definitely lost more in that little encounter that they had. And the drone gets out and survives. It lives. Well done, drone. And it's going to go build the third base. Okay, you lived for a little bit. Now you're going to be a building. Have fun living your life as a hatchery. We'll have to look at this build, see if it is identical to the previous one. Yeah. Fun series so far. Fun series. First game. Yep, that Zealot does nothing. Did it get a worker kill? Nope, got 1 Zergling. So 1 Zergling for a Zealot, not a great trade. Here is an Adept, also just to be annoying. Queens are going to pop, that's going to help. This Shade is not knowing where it wants to go. No health damage on that Adept, so that's okay. Needed for scouting, keeping your eye on things. We're going to go up to 3 gates once again. Going to go into some more Adepts, get the Glaives, and then we'll see where PattyMac takes it from there. The PattyMac build. He was a fun player to watch. I don't think he made it past the group stages, but definitely a fun player to watch. His builds were a little bit exciting. Scarlett is always a fun player to watch. She does so well. I need to check their rankings, and I actually need to start having a look at who's going to make it to Katowice, because that is coming up in February, I believe, which is essentially what the old BlizzCon used to be. It is the World Championships of StarCraft. It is the kind of the one you want to win, that makes you the world champion, the best in the world at StarCraft at that point in time. That should be exciting. We've got a couple of good contenders. Dark is looking okay sometimes. Mari's obviously Mari. Cyril's very good. Reyna is looking very good once again. So yeah, a couple of very interesting players and good players. Hero, can't forget about Hero, who could take that one. 5 Adepts moving across once more, and Solar. Solar's also been doing quite well lately, which I'm so glad for. I love Solar. But anyway, let's focus here. Let's see what the Adepts can get done. So far, just getting a Creep Tremor. Not too bad. There's not too many Lings. Okay, that's an odd shade in. Surprised that he let that one finish. And the recall. Are we going to see it? Should see it now. Maybe not. Maybe he's going to let the shade finish. Yeah, there's the recall. Always the recall. Very cool. Baneling Nest once again on the way. Evo Chamber. I think Scarlett's probably going to go a little bit more aggressive in this one. I'm hoping she does. Forge is coming up a little bit sooner now, along with 2 more gateways. Glaives is finishing off. So this is a strange build because it's a bit of an anti-timing and everything. Like, The Adepts have already been recalled, and Glaves is only finishing up now, and I don't think he has too many more. No, he's got 10. So, you know, he could do some aggressive things as soon as that upgrade finishes, but it seems like a bit of an odd timing. Work account, Scarlett is once again in the lead. Yeah, here we go. Adepts moving out as soon as that is finished. Robo is on the way. That's going to be the follow-up as opposed to the Stargate. So I'm assuming to see a Colossus because maybe he's expecting Scarlett to go into Hydras once again. Scarlett is also, good baiting hits there, preemptively making some Spore Crawlers even though there is no Stargate. But, you know, they're not a waste in its entirety because it's good for Dark Templar, spotting Dark Templar, things like that. Those Adepts get picked off once again. This one is alive, having a good time. 2 more in the third base. They picked off 3 workers. But yeah, once again, I'm not a fan of those trades. That's 14 Adepts for 3 workers and a bunch of Lings. I mean, Scarlett's not going to mind losing those Lings. Whereas, you know, what's the defense now? Interesting. What happened there? Shield battery got cancelled. So you've got 2 Adepts. The shield battery isn't finished yet. These Lings are going to be able to get rid of these Adepts. And in terms of units, what else does he have? 1 Stalker and an Observer. An Observer obviously not going to be very useful in this defense. Scarlett is dealing some damage, gets rid of a couple of probes. Yeah, the defense is very low. I think this is going to be committed pressure because we see the Warp Prism. So PattyMac's just going to be throwing more and more Adepts. Maybe not. Maybe it could be Dark Templar warping. But yeah, she's going to be quite happy to defend this with Ling Bane. Obviously, Baning's pretty decent against Adepts. They can reach them. They hit absolutely savagely. Which makes the Adepts quite pointless. A lot of Banelings coming in. There's Stalkers trying to get rid of them. They hit into the shield battery, which is alright. Those Banelings trying very hard to get to those workers. Not getting too much economic damage. Actually not getting too much damage at all there. That was very expensive. Banelings, surprisingly, are not cheap. They're very strong, but because they cost so much gas and you make so much of them, they're really not cheap. We do see the Infestation Pit once more coming up. Where is the Warp Prism? Hello? Okay, so the Warp Prism's just here. It's going to be for more Stalkers. Do we have Blink? Blink is researched, and +1 is available. At this stage, Scarlett only has +1 melee, but that's fine because she mostly has Lings and Banes. There is a Ling run by getting some damage done on this side, but most of the defense is being focused on the Stalkers. Creep Fruit once again pretty decent. I don't like that movement with Banes. Queens are here to help defend. Scarlett just needs to hold on to this 4th base. She is transfusing. Link's going to try and get a wraparound again. I think PattyMac is pretty committed to this. He has his 3rd base up, but not much workers there. Link's doing some good work. I think this could be the beginning of the end once more. As this attack just hasn't done what it was meant to. This attack was meant to kill Scarlett. A little bit of fancy micro is nice, but I think PattyMac's just going to absolutely run out. And there we go, GG. Scarlett takes the series 2-0, just by playing a little bit cleaner than PattyMac. I hope you enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun with this one. Nice, solid little PvZ with some different strategies coming out of PattyMac. If you did like this video, please make sure to hit the like button. And if you want to see more StarCraft, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.